April 5th, 1933, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt signs Executive Order 6102. With one signature, gold ownership becomes illegal in the United States of America. Citizens have until May 1st to surrender all gold coins, gold bullion, and gold certificates to the Federal Reserve. Penalty for noncompliance: 10 years in prison, $10,000 fine, or both. That's equivalent to $200,000 today. The order states, all persons are hereby required to deliver on or before May 1st, 1933 to a Federal Reserve Bank or a branch or agency thereof, or to any member bank of the Federal Reserve System, all gold coin, gold bullion, and gold certificates now owned by them. Within 4 weeks, Americans surrendered $400 million worth of gold. That's $7 billion in today's money. The government paid $20.67 per ounce. Then 9 months later, Roosevelt revalued gold to $35 per ounce. Overnight, 69% increase. The government made instant profit on confiscated gold, while citizens lost 40% of their wealth. This was not negotiation. This was confiscation, and it worked because gold was physical, traceable, and banked. The government knew who had it. They knew where it was stored, and they had legal authority to seize it. Those who refused faced criminal prosecution. Some did hide gold, some buried it, some moved it offshore. But most complied because the penalty was too severe. Why did this happen? The official story says Great Depression required drastic action. Banks were failing. Deflation was crushing the economy. People were hoarding gold instead of spending money. Roosevelt needed to devalue the dollar to stimulate inflation and economic activity. But you cannot devalue a currency tied to gold unless you first confiscate the gold. So that's exactly what he did. The real story is darker. The government was bankrupt. Federal debt exploded during World War I and never recovered. The Fed needed to expand money supply but could not do so while gold standard restricted printing. Confiscating gold and then revaluing it accomplished two goals: instant profit for the Treasury and freedom to print unlimited money. The gold standard effectively ended that day, even though official termination did not come until 1971 when Nixon closed the gold window. Now here's the critical question. Can this happen again? Can government confiscate your wealth in 2026 like they did in 1933? The answer is yes. But this time, it will be easier, faster, and more complete. Because this time they have CBDCs. Let's understand what happened in 1933, step by step. January 1933. America is 3 years into Great Depression. Unemployment hits 25%. Banks are failing at a rate of 40 per week. Depositors panic. Bank runs accelerate. People convert paper money to gold and hoard it. Between 1930 and 1933, gold reserves at Federal Reserve drop by 1/3. The banking system faces collapse. March 4th, 1933. Franklin Roosevelt inaugurated as president. The day before inauguration, 38 states have declared bank holidays, closing their banks. Roosevelt's first action as president: declare national bank holiday, closing every bank in America for 4 days. This stops bank runs, but also traps people's money. During this period, government prepares the gold confiscation order. March 9, 1933. Emergency Banking Act passes. This gives president unprecedented power over banking system and gold transactions. The law states president can regulate or prohibit gold hoarding during national emergency. Roosevelt declares gold hoarding is prolonging the emergency. Anyone holding gold is now acting against national interest. April 5th, 1933. Executive Order 6102 issued. All citizens must deliver gold to Federal Reserve by May 1st, 4-week deadline. Banks required to report customers with safe deposit boxes. Jewelers, gold dealers, refiners, all required to report holdings and sales. Privacy eliminated. Surveillance activated. The order contains exemptions. Industrial users can keep gold for legitimate business. Dentists can keep gold for tooth fillings. Jewelers can keep reasonable stock. Coin collectors can keep rare coins. And individuals can keep 5 ounces of gold coins. 5 ounces. That's about $7,000 at 1933 prices. Today, that's around $10,000. Everything above 5 ounces must be surrendered. May 1st, 1933. Deadline arrives. Most Americans comply. The penalty is too severe to risk. 10 years in prison destroys your life. $10,000 fine bankrupts most families. Only the very wealthy or very defiant choose to hide gold. Estimates suggest 20% of gold was never surrendered. People buried it in backyards, hid it in walls, moved it offshore, or sold it in black markets. But 80% compliance is sufficient for government purposes. January 1934. Gold Reserve Act passes. This ratifies the confiscation and revalues gold from $20.67 to $35 per ounce. Government makes instant profit of 69% on confiscated gold, but citizens who surrendered gold already received payment at old price. They get nothing from revaluation. Wealth transferred from citizens to government. Silently, legally, completely. Criminal prosecutions follow for those who refused. Most famous case, Frederick Barber Campbell. New York lawyer who challenged the constitutionality of gold confiscation. He argued government cannot seize property without due process. Court ruled against him. Supreme Court declined to hear the case. Campbell lost everything. Legal precedent established. Government can confiscate monetary metals during national emergency. The confiscation remains in effect until 1974. For 41 years, Americans cannot legally own gold bullion, only jewelry and rare coins allowed. In 1974, President Ford signs legislation ending the ban, but by then, gold has risen to $180 per ounce. Those who surrendered in 1933 at $20.67 missed a 900% increase. Generational wealth destroyed. Why did Roosevelt do this? The textbook answer, stimulate economy during depression. The real answer, enable money printing. Under gold standard, every dollar requires gold backing. And if government wants to print more dollars, it needs more gold. But gold supply is limited. Solution, confiscate gold from citizens, revalue it higher, and suddenly government has more gold backing for money printing. Problem solved. Mariner Eccles, Federal Reserve Chairman from 1934 to 1948, later admitted the truth. He wrote, "The gold standard was a barbarous relic that prevented necessary monetary expansion. Confiscation was required to free government from the constraints of commodity money." Translation, we needed to print unlimited money and gold standard stopped us. So we took the gold. The money printing began immediately after confiscation. M1 money supply increased 37% between 1933 and 1937. During gold standard era, such expansion was impossible. After confiscation, it became routine. Inflation remained low initially because depression created deflationary pressure. But the seed was planted. Government could now print whenever it wanted. And it did, especially during World War II, when debt exploded from $43 billion to $260 billion. The lesson from 1933 is clear. Government will seize wealth when debt becomes unsustainable. They will use national emergency as justification. They will offer compensation at artificially low prices. They will criminalize noncompliance. And they will profit from revaluation after confiscation. This pattern has repeated throughout history. Rome confiscated wealth during late empire. Revolutionary France confiscated noble estates. Soviet Union confiscated everything. Weimar Germany seized gold. Every failing empire does this. Now let's examine how this works in modern times with CBDCs. Central bank digital currencies make confiscation easier than 1933 for 5 reasons. First reason, perfect surveillance. In 1933, government had to track gold through banks and dealers. Many transactions went unreported. Cash was anonymous. People could hide gold. With CBDCs, every transaction is recorded on blockchain or central database. Nothing is anonymous. Government sees everything. Every purchase, every sale, every transfer, real-time surveillance of every dollar. Second reason, instant confiscation. In 1933, government needed 4 weeks for people to surrender gold physically. Some people had time to hide or move assets. With CBDCs, confiscation is instantaneous. Algorithm runs. Your wallet debits, money vanishes. No advance notice, no time to react, no place to hide. One keystroke and your wealth disappears. Third reason, programmable restrictions. In 1933, government could only ban gold ownership, but people could still own silver, real estate, stocks, anything else. With CBDCs, government can restrict any asset class. Own too much Bitcoin? Algorithm blocks your ability to buy more. Own gold coins? Algorithm prevents you from selling them. Own farmland? Algorithm restricts your ability to purchase additional property. Every asset becomes controllable through CBDC restrictions. Fourth reason, negative interest rates. In 1933, government paid $20.67 per ounce for gold. Low price, but still payment. With CBDCs, government can implement negative interest rates. Your savings automatically decrease every month. 5% negative rate means 5% of your wealth vanishes annually. This is confiscation through debasement, silent, automatic, irreversible. Fifth reason, expiration dates. Most radical in CBDC feature. Government deposits stimulus into your CBDC wallet, but programs 30-day expiration. If you don't spend within 30 days, money vanishes. This forces spending over saving. It eliminates ability to store wealth outside system. This is confiscation of time preference. You cannot delay gratification. You cannot accumulate capital. You become permanent dependent on government issuance. China's digital yuan already demonstrates these capabilities. Over 260 million users. Government monitors every transaction. Limits exist on how much you can hold, where you can spend, what you can buy. Social credit score integrates with wallet. Low score means restricted access. This is not hypothetical. This is operational today. European Central Bank developing digital euro with similar features. European officials openly discuss negative interest rates and spending restrictions. IMF published papers recommending these tools for economic stimulus. Federal Reserve researching digital dollar with same capabilities. The infrastructure is being built right now. Implementation is a matter of years, not decades. But CBDCs are not yet mandatory. How does government force adoption? Same playbook as 1933. Create crisis, declare emergency, ban alternatives, criminalize noncompliance. Let me show you the likely sequence. Step 1. Financial crisis triggers. Could be everything bubble collapse, could be debt ceiling disaster, could be bank failures, could be geopolitical shock. Regardless of trigger, crisis creates panic. Markets crash, banks fail, people demand government action. Step 2. Government offers solution. Universal basic income paid in CBDCs, stimulus checks in CBDCs, debt relief through CBDCs, but only if you accept CBDC wallet. Cash, an old banking system labeled outdated and unsafe. CBDC presented as modern secure alternative. Most people accept out of necessity. Step 3. Old system phased out rapidly. Banks required to convert all accounts to CBDC wallets within 6 months. Cash withdrawn from circulation. ATMs shut down. Old dollar bills declared invalid after deadline. Anyone holding cash must convert to CBDC or lose value, similar to India's 2016 demonetization, but global scale. Step 4. Criminalize alternatives. Gold and silver ownership banned for most citizens. Cryptocurrency transactions made illegal. Penalty: wallet freeze and criminal prosecution. Anyone caught using alternative money faces asset confiscation and imprisonment. Legal precedent from 1933 cited as justification. Step 5. Confiscation begins. Government declares emergency wealth tax. Algorithm scans all wallets. Anyone with more than certain threshold gets automatic deduction. Maybe 10%, maybe 30%. Depends on government desperation. Confiscation happens instantly. No warning, no appeal, no recourse. This is not speculation. This is stated policy in multiple jurisdictions. European Central Bank already discussed wealth taxes during COVID crisis. IMF recommended one-time capital levy to reduce debt. World Economic Forum published papers on CBDCs enabling better tax collection and wealth redistribution. The tools are being built. The precedent exists. The justification is prepared. Janet Yellen, U.S. Treasury Secretary, testified before Congress in 2023 about unrealized capital gains tax. This means taxing wealth that has not been sold. You own a house worth $500,000. You bought it for $300,000. Government taxes you on $200,000 gain even though you have not sold. You must pay from other savings. This forces asset sales to pay taxes on unrealized gains, confiscation by another name, and CBDCs make it enforceable. Algorithm calculates your wealth. Algorithm debits your wallet, automatic, irreversible. Larry Fink, BlackRock CEO, openly advocates for CBDCs. He stated in 2023, digital currencies will allow more efficient capital allocation and better monitoring of economic activity. Translation: government can track and control everything. BlackRock is building CBDC infrastructure. They profit from the system, they support the system, and they will help enforce the system. So how do you protect yourself? If 1933 Playbook repeats with CBDC technology, what is your defense? Let me give you 7 strategies. Strategy 1, diversify beyond digital. Hold physical assets that cannot be confiscated digitally. Gold and silver, yes, but not in bank-safe deposit boxes. In 1933, government had banks open safe deposit boxes, store metals in private secure locations, multiple locations, hidden, offshore if possible. Strategy 2, productive assets. Farmland produces food regardless of currency system. Water rights produce water. Timber produces lumber. These assets have intrinsic value independent of monetary system. During every currency crisis, productive assets retain value. During Weimar hyperinflation, farmers survived. City dwellers with cash starved. Strategy 3, international diversification. Don't keep all assets in one jurisdiction. If U.S. implements CBDC confiscation, assets in Switzerland, Singapore, or elsewhere may escape. Dual citizenship provides exit option. Offshore accounts, while increasingly monitored, still offer more protection than purely domestic holdings. Strategy 4, skills and relationships. During crisis, what you know and who you know matters more than what you own. Medical skills, engineering, agriculture, trades, these create value regardless of monetary system. Strong community ties enable barter and mutual aid when official currency fails. Strategy 5, minimal digital footprint. Reduce dependence on banking system now. Use cash for daily transactions while still legal. This maintains capability to transact outside surveillance. Keep only minimal amounts in bank accounts. Hold rest in physical form or non-digital assets. Strategy 6, understand exemptions. In 1933, 5 ounces of gold coins were exempt, rare coins exempt, jewelry exempt, industrial use exempt. Future confiscation will likely have exemptions. Study them. Use them. Collectible coins may escape confiscation. Jewelry may be allowed. Position assets within exemptions. Strategy? 7. Legal structures. Trusts, corporations, foundations. These can provide layers of protection. International trusts in favorable jurisdictions. Corporate ownership of assets. While not foolproof, legal structures create complexity that makes confiscation harder. Government must litigate rather than simply seize. But here is harsh truth. If government is determined, they can confiscate anything. They have monopoly on legal violence. They have courts, they have police, they have military. Against determined government, individual has limited options. Best defense is staying under radar, not being obvious target, not being example they use to scare others. History shows confiscation targets the wealthy first. Roosevelt went after major gold holdings. Soviet confiscation targeted kulaks, wealthy peasants. Mao targeted landlords. Modern confiscation will target billionaires first. Wealth tax on ultra-rich. Then millionaires. Then upper middle class. Then everyone. Pattern is always same. Start with unpopular targets to establish precedent, then expand to everyone. The irony of 1933, confiscation. It failed to achieve stated goal. Gold confiscation did not end Great Depression. Depression continued until World War II created demand boom. What confiscation did it achieve? Transfer wealth from citizens to government. Enable unlimited money printing. Destroy constitutional protections. These effects remain to this day, and CBDCs will amplify this pattern. They promise economic stimulus, financial inclusion, efficient payments. Reality? Total surveillance, instant confiscation, permanent control. Just like 1933 promised economic recovery but delivered wealth transfer. So what's your plan? Government has digital tools, they have legal precedent, they have public support during crisis. What's your counter strategy? Physical assets, offshore diversification, exit plan? Or do you trust government will not repeat 1933? History suggests skepticism is wise. Government confiscated gold in 1933. Government debased currency in 1971. Government bailed out banks in 2008. Government printed $5 trillion in 2020. Why would government not confiscate wealth in 2026 if crisis demands it? The pattern is clear. Every time debt becomes unsustainable, government seizes wealth. Every time currency fails, government implements capital controls. Every time people seek safety in hard assets, government makes hard assets illegal. This is not unique to America. This is universal government behavior during crisis. Rome debased coins and confiscated wealth. Revolutionary France guillotined aristocrats and seized estates. Weimar Germany seized gold and printed marks. Soviet Union seized everything and killed millions. Mao seized land and starved millions. Every empire, every crisis, same pattern. America, 1933, was mild compared to Soviet confiscation. Only gold was seized. Property, stocks, businesses remained private. But next time might be different. Next time technology enables total confiscation. CBDCs make everything possible. Your home equity, digital line automatically recorded. Your stock portfolio, digital restrictions prevent sale. Your savings, digital negative interest automatically debits. Everything becomes programmable, trackable, confiscatable. Executive Order 6102 proves government can and will seize wealth during crisis. CBDCs prove government now has tools to do this instantly and completely. The question is not if, but when. When will next crisis trigger confiscation? When will CBDCs become mandatory? When will alternatives become illegal? Timeline suggests 2026 to 2030. Everything bubble collapses. Financial crisis erupts. Government offers CBDC solution. People accept out of desperation. Within 2 years, old system phases out. Within 5 years, alternatives criminalized. Within 10 years, total surveillance state. Unless pattern breaks. Can pattern break? Can America avoid repeating 1933? Can CBDCs be stopped? Theoretically, yes. If enough people refuse. If enough people demand sound money. If enough people exit the system. But history suggests most people comply. Most people trust authority during crisis. Most people surrender freedom for security. And most people lose both. Benjamin Franklin warned, those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. 1933 proved him right. Americans surrendered gold for safety, got neither. Depression continued, freedom diminished, government grew, and precedent was set for future confiscation. CBDCs represent Franklin's warning at digital scale. Surrender financial privacy for convenient payments. Surrender asset control for stimulus checks. Surrender monetary freedom for economic security. And get none of them. Only surveillance, confiscation, and control. Your choice matters, not just for yourself, but for next generation. Your children will live with consequences of CBDC acceptance or resistance today. If CBDCs become normalized, they inherit digital serfdom. If physical assets remain accessible, they inherit option of freedom. If alternative systems survive, they have choice. If government monopolizes money completely, choice disappears forever. This is not about gold versus paper. This is about freedom versus control. This is not about conspiracy theories. This is about historical patterns. This is not about 1933. This is about 2026 and what you do before crisis hits. Next video examines the 3-stage survival portfolio for coming crisis. Physical assets, productive assets, exit assets, how to allocate, how to secure, how to transfer between generations. Because wealth that can be confiscated is not truly yours. Only wealth beyond government reach provides real security. Subscribe to Dark Money Historian. Comment below. Do you believe CBDC confiscation is coming? How are you protecting assets? What's your 1933 lesson? Because answers are not in future. They are hidden in past. Executive Order 6102 is not history. It is preview.